Hi everyone. If you're a subscriber, welcome back. If you're new to my channel, my name is Riley. Welcome to my garden, and today we're talking about growing perennial herbs in containers. To begin with, what's the difference between a perennial plant and an annual plant? And in the simplest possible terms, a perennial plant is one that will come back year after year, and an annual plant is one that will die at the end of every growing season. And in my perennial herb garden this year, I'm growing 2 oregano plants and 1 basil plant. And why did I choose to grow these in containers? That's because perennial herbs like oregano and mint and even thyme, when grown in your garden, they will send out runners underneath the ground, and those runners will then send up shoots for new plant growth. So these can quickly take over an entire garden. It's always a good idea to grow perennial herbs in containers. Starting from seed or buying starts at a local big box store. Totally up to you. If you have the time and the means, then yes, you can start from seed and you could save some money. One of these herb starts cost about $3.50. My thought process was they're going to come back year after year, so I went ahead and I made the investment of $4 per plant, and I transplanted them directly into these containers and was able to start growing immediately. But if you have the time and the means, yes, you could save that $12 by starting from seed. So what kind of container should you grow your herbs in? You could grow them in a small window box style container. They don't require a lot of soil. However, the less soil you have, the less moisture content you're going to be able to hold in those containers. So the more you're going to have to stay on top of these and keep them well watered. I always, when growing in containers, believe bigger is always better. And where I live in South Texas, if I were to grow these in little window box style containers, I would have to be out here every single day making sure that they were watered so they didn't dry out and die on me. Growing vegetables in containers, growing herbs in containers, bigger is always better from my point of view. I grow these in these 5 to 7 gallon containers. This allows me to just come out once, maybe 2 to 3 times a week, check the soil and keep them watered. What kind of soil do we need to grow our perennial herbs in? What you want to purchase is good quality organic potting soil, not garden soil, not raised bed soil, good quality organic potting soil. This potting soil is going to have expanded rock in it called perlite. It's going to help with drainage. This is what you want for your container garden. It's designed for containers. Now, in addition to that, as an insurance policy, I always mix in with my containers balanced organic fertilizer. This is from Down to Earth. It's a balanced fertilizer 444. Something like this works really, really well to ensure that your organic potting soil is going to have plenty of nutrients for the entire growing season. When you look at that bag of organic potting soil, it's going to say feeds up to 3 months. Well, if we supplement that with some good organic balanced fertilizer, then we're going to take these plants through the entire growing season. All the instructions you need about how much of this to use is all on the back of these containers, depending on the size of the container you're using. And a few weeks ago, I put out a video on how to grow bell peppers in containers. And in that video, I went into a lot more detail on how to prepare your soil for these containers. I'll leave a link to that video in the video description below. So if you're new to container gardening, have a look at that video. There's a lot of valuable information in there for you that's really going to help when you start your perennial herb garden in containers. The number one enemy for any container garden is allowing these containers to dry out completely, then giving them water, then allowing them to dry out completely again, then giving them water. That's going to stress the plant out, and the plants are not going to do well. It's very important that you add some mulch to the top of your container. The mulch is going to make sure that the water in that soil has a harder time evaporating out of that soil. So you're going to be watering these plants less. There's going to be more moisture in that soil for longer periods of time, and your plants are going to grow better. In my region, I'm able to easily get this hardwood mulch that has just worked fantastically for me here in South Texas. But in your area of the country or your area of the world, maybe there's other mulches readily available that work even better than this. So do a Google search for your area, or go to a local nursery and talk to the people that work there about what mulch is best for containers growing in your area. Once you've got your mulch on your containers, you've transplanted your starts in, you're going to want to come out every few days, put your finger in. If it comes out with moisture on it, you don't need to worry about putting water in these containers. When it comes out dry, give these containers a little bit of water. Continue to do that all growing season long, and these plants are going to grow beautifully. Finally, when you're ready to harvest, start from the top of the plant and work down, and always leave 3 to 5 sets of leaves on the bottom of each stem so that there's enough growth there that these can grow back. And you can go through your plants, harvest each of these down so there's 3 to 5 leaves on each stem. They will grow back with vigor, and you'll be harvesting herbs all season long. So if you're new to vegetable herb gardening, you're new to container gardening, this is simple. You need a container, good quality organic potting soil, some balanced organic fertilizer, and pick up a few perennial herb starts at your local nursery or your local big box store. Look at that video I made on growing peppers in containers and follow the instructions there on how to prepare your soil. Transplant those starts into that soil, put some mulch on top, make sure it's well watered. You're going to be growing perennial herbs in no time.